Hi, I'm Kristen Haas Curtis. I'm a cartoonist, and I'm here to draw Chanticleer from the Nun's Priest's Tale with you today. The first step is always going to be to draw with pencil. This is just going to give us a rough idea of where our images go on the page. So you want to think about simplifying the shape of the chicken and focusing on big, round, simple shapes. 2 triangles for a beak, a circle for a head, big oval eyes and an oval body, and long, chickeny legs. Because we're making a comic, it's fun to exaggerate some of these features and not worry about trying to make something realistic. Next, I'm going to add a curve to give me an idea of where his tail is going to go, and then an echoing curve on his head to show me where his comb is. I'm going to add an idea of what feathers are going to be there, and I've decided that I want my Chanticleer to look like he's a little bit agitated in mid-conversation, so I'm adding 2 big flopping wings. The final thing I've done is touched up a couple pencil lines, and then it's time to move on to the inking. And today I'm using my favorite pen. When I ink, I always like to start with the eyes and the face, but there's no one right way. From here I move on to his beak, then down around his neck and his chin, the little wattle that's hanging down there. You'll notice when I'm inking that I'll often make 1 or 2 small lines, and then I'll remove my hand for a second to just pause and look at where I am before I come back. This is a really good way to get these nice, smooth, determined lines. I'm finishing up with the legs, the knees, and the little toes. And we've now got a chicken. Meet Chanticleer. The next step is to get rid of that pencil. So I'm going to go back through and erase it once I am sure that my ink has dried. After I've erased all the pencil, you'll see that I use a brush here to remove the little eraser pieces from the page rather than wiping it with my hand. This is because I don't want to smear ink, but I also don't want to leave any oil behind from my fingerprints, because when you go to add color, that can make it a little bit more difficult. And adding color is our next step. Now this is an optional step, and you don't have to do it. There's no one right way. I like using watercolor and a water brush, and mostly I'm going to be working from the colors that the Nun's Priest tells us to expect. In this case we have azure legs and toes for Chanticleer. You can use colored pencils, crayons, finger paints, really anything you have on hand. There is no one right answer, just as long as you're having fun. I use a little bit more blue to add some shadows, and then I'm going to go in and color his beak this nice bright orange. Chaucer actually tells us that his bill is black as jet. He doesn't have a bill, he's not a duck. Nonetheless, I decided after doing it that way once, it didn't look quite right, so I went back and did it again, and decided to use an orange color that's going to tie into the coral color of his comb, which is what Chaucer tells us to expect, and also his wattle under his chin. We're also told that his body is burnished like gold, so I'm going to use this really rich yellow color here for all of his wings and his torso. And I started his tail that way, but I decided I wanted my Chanticleer to be just a little bit more fancy. So I pulled some of the red and the orange colors that I had used for his comb, and I'm blending them in with the yellow of his tail. It's important to note when you're drawing these things that we're working from what Chaucer tells us in the text, but like everyone in the room you've just seen in the exhibition, we're also working from our imaginations. So feel free to do whatever feels right for you as you're making your Chanticleer come to life. I've added a little green here as a background because I like the way it makes the red look, but you can do any kind of background you'd like. And the most important step is be sure you sign your name at the bottom. I also like to add the year, and congratulations, you have drawn Chanticleer. Do you think you're ready to draw Pertelote next? I hope you had fun.